welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into some absolutely fascinating research done by Dr. Pradeep Banerjee on behalf of the Divine Palmistry path. We're going to see how they're transforming ancient divinatory roots into a totally modern psychological tool for analyzing personality and compatibility. So, no crystal balls or mystical robes are required today. We are taking a grounded, really practical look at how the physical characteristics of your hands can reveal some amazing details about who you are and, well, how you love. So, what does the shape of your hand actually say about your love life? Let's dive right into this. For centuries, people have looked to their palms for answers, but modern research is showing us that our hands are literally incredible mirrors into the inner workings of our minds. They reflect our psychological makeup, our behavioral tendencies, and yes, even our approach to romantic relationships. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with the modern playbook. Check out hand shape and skin texture, examine finger lengths, map out the major lines, decode that all-important heart line, and wrap it all up with the signs of love and marriage. All right, Section 1, the modern palmistry playbook, moving way beyond fortune-telling. You see, modern palmistry has moved far beyond fatalistic fortune-telling. It's really not about predicting some predetermined fate anymore. Instead, it's about understanding the unique blueprint of your character, something shaped by genetics, your environment, and even hormonal exposure in the womb. And this quote from palmistry expert Johnny Finchen, it brilliantly illustrates why our hands are so incredibly expressive. The neural connection between our brain and our hands is just absolutely massive. To put that into perspective, if our body parts were sized according to the amount of brain space dedicated to them, your hands would proportionally be the size of house doors. Crazy, right? That vast motor and neural connection is exactly why your hands are such a staggeringly accurate reflection of your inner self. Moving on to Section 2, hand shape and skin texture. Let's take the macro view. We're going to start broad, looking at the canvas of the hand itself to get some immediate, really easy to spot wins about a person's character, even before we look at a single line. Skin texture on the inside of the palm is an incredibly important measure of someone's awareness. Go ahead, ask a friend to feel your palm. If you've got silky skin, where the ridges are barely visible, you might be highly sensitive and very tuned in atmospheres and energies. On the flip side, grainy skin, which feels firmer with stronger ridges, usually points to a really busy, active, and sporty nature with super quick physical responses. Now, this part sounds totally counterintuitive, but surprisingly, people with disproportionately large hands, they are actually the meticulous detailers. Think dental technicians, surgeons, jewelers. Small-handed individuals, though, they cut right to the chase. They're your big picture thinkers who make quick judgments and absolutely do not want to get bogged down in the pedantic details. Section 3. Finger lengths and personality. Let's see how you measure up. Let's move to our digits and see how finger length builds on those foundational personality traits we just uncovered. Let's do a really quick experiment. Hold up your hand right now and bend your fingers forward at a 90-degree angle. Got it? Okay, measure the distance from the highest knuckle of your middle finger to the tip. Now, compare that to your palm length, from the base of that middle finger all the way down to the bottom of your palm near your wrist. So which one is longer? Well, if your fingers are shorter than your palm, you likely make fast, intuitive guesses. You're a holistic thinker who just hones in on the key facts. But if your fingers are longer than your palm, you're probably the thorough, analytical academic of your friend group. You take a little longer to act because you're deeply processing the information, which makes you a natural specialist or consultant. Okay, Section 4, mapping the major lines. Let's look at the blueprint. Now that we've sized up the hand and fingers, let's zoom in and map out those major lines that cross the center of your palm. This is where we get into the real structural blueprint of your life. There are 4 primary lines you really need to know: the lifeline, the heart line, the head line, and the fate line. Together, they act as the structural blueprint for your sense of direction, your emotional capacity, and your mental focus. Just remember, though, these lines should always be read in the context of the hand shape and skin texture we were just talking about. Let's highlight one that's heavily tied to your life path: the fate line. Running vertically down the center of your palm, it shows your dedication and direction. Now, the really crucial point here is that not everyone even has a fate line. And even more fascinating, if your fate line is doubled, like running side by side, there's a good chance you might be living out 2 completely different sides of your personality, complete with 2 different sets of friends, interests, and lifestyles. And hey, don't ignore the minor scratches on your palm either. These can actually change rapidly over just a few months. For instance, the travel lines, which are these little branches at the base of the lifeline, they reveal a deep, deep drive for adventure and wandering. And the health line
Running vertically from the base points right to your capacity for mental calm.
Let's hit Section 5, Decoding the Heartline. This is all about emotional openness.
Your heartline is entirely about your emotional openness, your capacity to emote, and how you form romantic connections. So, let's find yours. Trace that top horizontal line just under your 4 fingers. Follow it right across your palm. Now, the key here isn't just how deep the line is, but the direction it travels. The way it moves tells us volumes about your approach to relationships.
Take a close look at the shape. A straight line? That means you're emotionally straightforward and practically minded in love. You value fidelity, stability, and finance over, gushing romance. Whereas a line curving upward, especially if it goes all the way up to the index or Jupiter finger, indicates a highly idealistic, expressive romantic who might even have a little bit of a tendency to put their partners on an impossibly high pedestal. Finally, Section 6, Signs of Love and Marriage. Let's decode some compatibility. All right, here's the climax of our explainer. Determining the signs of a love marriage versus an arranged marriage, based on the research highlighted by experts like astrologer Dr. Meenakshi Sharma. Before checking the marriage lines on the edge of your hand, look at the base of your thumb. This is called the Venus mount. A strong, well-developed, slightly raised Venus mount gives you the active energy, passion, and sensuality needed to actively pursue and create a romantic love marriage. If it's flat or less developed, well, it might indicate a much more reserved kind of affection. Now, single signs aren't conclusive, but combinations, they paint a very clear picture. A combination of a deep, curving heart line, a strong and fleshy Venus mount, and a long marriage line that curves downward toward the heart line strongly points to a love marriage where strong feelings preceded the union. Conversely, straighter, shorter lines definitely lean toward a more practical, arranged approach.
But here is the real hidden gem. According to Dr. Sharma's analysis, if you spot a tiny influence line jumping from that fleshy Venus mount at the base of your thumb, traveling across, and directly joining your vertical fate line in the center of your palm, wow. You are looking at one of the absolute strongest indicators of a love marriage in all of palmistry.
But a quick word of caution for all you focused learners out there. Remember the rule of 3. You need at least 3 or more of these strong indicators working together, like the curving heart line, the strong Venus mount, and favorable symbols, to confidently predict a strong love marriage inclination. Seriously, don't base a major life decision on one single scratch.
Well, you now have the modern playbook. You know how to analyze hand size to see if someone's a big picture thinker, you can check skin texture to gauge their sensitivity, and you can read heart lines to uncover their romantic ideals. So your homework for today is super simple. Go grab your partner's or maybe your best friend's hand and see what you can decode. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought to kind of spark your curiosity. What deep relationship dynamics, unspoken emotional needs, and completely hidden personality traits are quietly mapped out right now on the hands of the people closest to you, just waiting to be read? Thanks for exploring the modern playbook with me today. Keep learning and keep looking closely.